also, I went to the Epidavros Lyceum for 2 years. It was organized by the Athens Festival and also University of Peloponnese. I met the theater actors from 25 countries, and we stayed together for 15 days, and we have a workshop with mentors from different countries. They are directors, they are professors, so they brought us their different angles on the drama, education, and also on theater performances. We spent our very nice time in the Epidavros Ancient Theater and also the Ancient Stadium in this beautiful area. We also produce our own productions together with everyone involved, which means more than 100 actors together in one performance. Also, we were in small groups, and we perform ancient group drama. The first year I performed Agamemnon. The second year we also performed together with a very famous director in Greece, Vangelis Theodorakos. This is him. So I met many very well-known directors and professors from Greece, from all over the world. And also for me, it was lucky and very precious experience to have met all my friends from all over the world. We still have the connections. So this is kind of something we can continue for our life. We are not working alone, we are not studying alone. We are all together. And also, in the end of my master's study, I had my own theatrical production to collaborate with Pyrrhikos Sydesmos Drama School in Greece. So we have two directors from the drama school who are also the actors in Greek National Theatre. And also the other 16 Greek actors in the drama school, and also myself, one Chinese actor. So we together, I wrote a play which is Farewell My Concubine. It's a very famous Chinese opera, and also there was a very famous movie. So I adapted to my own writing, and then we performed in the Olympia Theatre in Athens, which was very successful. I think it was only 2 or 3 weeks after the performance, then it was a COVID-19 again. So that was, I was very lucky. I successfully presented this performance. So in this performance, it's a typical intercultural production which combines the Chinese culture and Greek culture, of course Chinese theatre and Greek theatre. And after I came back from Greece, I chose to join the primary school to be a drama teacher, which is actually very rare now in China. In this city, the name of the city is Chengdu, where I'm in now. All I can tell you is it's a hometown panda. Then you must know where it is. It's in West China. It's the biggest city here in West China, and it's very ancient, but also very modern city. It's a very, very nice city. You must know hot pot, so it's from here, from Chengdu. So I came to the city. I chose to be a drama teacher in the primary school. Actually, I was the first one, and I think even now I'm the only one. When I say the drama teacher in the primary school, I mean the dedicated drama teacher. Because in some primary schools, they also have the teachers of language or English teacher or even music teacher. They also try to do some drama education. But I was the first one to be a dedicated drama teacher, and also I have the classes for all the students in the school every week. So these were my students in the primary schools. Okay, so now I would like to give some summary on the development of drama education in China. I use the word taking off, because drama education it has been developed in many years in Europe or America, but in China it was a very new thing. It was only like 10 years, maybe, or So for drama education now in China, there are mainly two organizations working on drama education. The first is the schools. The schools, I mean the primary schools or middle schools. For the schools, as I said before, there are very few schools that have the dedicated drama education. For primary school, if as a professor said in Beijing, basically no schools has dedicated drama classes. Maybe at least I know what the drama classes I'm opening now is only one in the city. Also one of the very few in the whole China. But in the schools, they are now using drama to be the aesthetics education, which is they can put into the normal classes. The way they do this is first they work on the school plays, especially based on their books. So they choose some stories or text from the books and then ask the students to act as play. Not the official play on the stage, but there's some plays, for example, in the classroom. So this is kind of a way they are using drama education in the daily schools. And also the other one is they are organizing the art festivals in the schools. So in these festivals, they accept the drama performances, but in that way, it is more performance, not what we normally do, in our daily drama classes. So it's still very, how do you say, very narrow. It's not something we really do, as you already know very clear what we do in the drama education. Also, there is also some practices that they are now collaborating with theater companies, especially in Beijing. In Beijing, there's an area called the Dongcheng district, which is a very big, very central area in Beijing city. They collaborate with the National Theatre of China, the Beijing People's Art Theatre, Children Art Theatre, all these professional theatres. So they invite the theatre actors to come into the campus, and then they give the classes to the children, or they work on together on the theatre productions together. So in this way, the students can have the very close contact with the professional theatre. So this is very good way, and also sometimes they bring the children into the theatre to see how the real theatre is, and also they can talk to the actors who normally they saw on the stage. But here also one thing I want to add is, because I studied in Greece, so in Greece theatre is everywhere, and then especially for the young children, they can watch theatre performances everywhere, every day. There are many productions for children. But in China, still there are very few. Generally, in the whole society, theatre is not very common, still not very common. And we are lacking of the audience space. or cry. So this will make this of course will interrupt the performance. So that's why they have this kind of curve. But from what I have seen in Greece, they don't have this kind of really this kind of curve. I see children everywhere in the theater. And also they have many productions for children. This is what we are lacking now in China. We should have more physical productions for children. So this is kind of here where I'm talking about collaborating with a professional theater. So that's why I remind me. And also besides schools, there are also the drama education companies, which is the other way, but still very few. As I know, the well-known drama education companies in the whole China, as I know, maybe fewer than 10. In this city, only one, which is very big and famous. But as I know, because of the pandemic, it has affected this kind of drama education companies a lot. And what they in the past, what they normally do is first they offer the drama classes regularly for the children, which they can join. And what their teachers, some of the teachers, they studied from UK and back here, and then they train local teachers. So this is how their teachers come. And also they invite some foreign children theater productions to come to China to perform, for example, from Holland, from Denmark, from UK, from France, from Italy. And also their own actors, their own team, sometimes they also make some their own performances for children. So this is how normally they work. So this is how the drama education companies normally they work. So in China, basically now the ongoing practices are made by the schools and drama education companies. Also, there are some bureaus of the drama department, education department. So basically now these are the main organizations in China who are working on the drama education companies and also the schools. Even sometimes they collaborate. So some schools they invite the drama education companies to come into the schools to teach in their schools because they are lack of their teachers for drama. So they can really collaborate. And here are some characteristics of the drama education now in the schools in China. For example, when I came back to China and joined the primary school, the first thing that can be very surprised is the quantity of the children in one class. Normally, in the public schools in China, in one class there are 45 to 50 students, which are a lot. Normally, I know in Greece, in one class there are like 20 to 30 children, but in China, normally there are 40 to 50. In some private schools, there are also around 30. So this is a very big problem for the drama teachers to teach with such a big quantity of children, because they will run, they will be very noisy, they will be like chaos. So this is the first challenge for the drama teacher in China. That's why, normally in the normal class, students sit on their chair and to be very calm. They don't really move a lot. They can be very quiet in their class, and also this is what the teachers expect. So every teacher, every student, if they want to talk, they should raise their hand and they talk. And also they will locked on their seat. But in drama class, children can walk and they run, move everywhere. So you can imagine 45 or even 50 children moving around in one room. You can imagine how it was like. So this is something very difficult. And also, still, little knowledge for theater and drama. Even, in many the drama education, they try to put the drama education in the music classes or in the language classes, but that is not enough. And also there are some bias on drama education. I believe you must have heard a lot. We are saying, okay, I'm a drama teacher. Oh, you must be teaching acting. Oh, my child like acting. So please teach my children to act. But no, we don't really teach acting. That is for the real drama school, but it's not for the children in the primary schools. We cannot expect all the children in the primary schools to be actors. That's impossible, and it's not the goal of our education. And more seriously, that if we try to teach the children on acting, they will be very fake. They try to really act, but they're very embarrassing. So that is something very common I have made here, the bias of drama education. And also lack of qualified teachers. That is the main problem. In China now, in all universities, and they don't have the major of drama in education. Only in the Central Academy of Drama in Beijing and also the Shanghai Academy of Drama, they have the bachelor degree for the drama education, which they call drama education. But I talk to the students, it's still mainly about acting, directing. So it's not what we are saying about drama in education. So now in China, most of the teachers in this area, they are mainly from back. They mainly study in UK and they come back. I think I'm the only one studying Greece and they come back. So if the Chinese students or they are willing to be the teachers of drama education, they have to go abroad to study. So these are the characteristics of the drama education now in China. Okay, so I share some of my experience in the elementary education. I choose the primary school because I think the children in the primary school from 6-7 years old to 12 years old, that is the most important period in the whole life. They are changing very fast, whether from the first year of the primary school until to the 60 year of the primary school. They are very, very, very different. I can see the differences because also I'm teaching the students from the whole school, so from the first year to the 6th year. So I can see the difference of them. That is very interesting. And also I think that is something amazing as a drama teacher. So in drama education they're showing their talents. So the teacher can choose these children to get into these specialized courses. So in this course, basically they will form a theater group. So they will becoming more professional on theater performance. So we have three levels. So you can see it's for the first level, the basic level is for all the students, for everyone. And then on top of this, the students who are interested in drama, performing arts, they can choose to study. And then the teachers can observe and find the students who are talented and they have very outstanding performance on the daily classes. Then the teachers can choose them to be in the specialized courses and to form a theater group. And we also have the theater festival, which is not for performance. Because normally the theater performance is the theater festival, which is it's a pool for different theater performances. But for the theater festival in the school, in our drama courses, is not for the performing target. It is the presentation for the daily drama teaching and learning. So it's kind of a presentation to show the parents or the other people outside the school to know what we teach in our drama classes, what the children can get in our drama classes. So we can show how the children improve themselves in the drama classes. So it's a real. I want to emphasize it is real and it is pure the content of the daily class. It's not preparation only for the festival or performance. So these are the different levels of drama in education in primary schools, which I know I'm building now. And so we will see one by one. First is the basic compulsory courses. So it's for all the students in the school. We can see normally 40, 50 students come to the theater classroom, and then they work all together. They get into the stories, they tell the stories, they develop the roles. They have also the dramatic games. So they learn to imagine, they learn to improvise, they learn to collaborate. So basically, this is what we do in our daily class. So in these basic courses, we use drama in education as a base. This is very important because this is the difference between our drama class and the drama class in some schools, which they use, for example, they work on the school plays based on the books, the text, the stories from their English books. That's different. So the basic compulsory classes, we have the one class every week. But actually now in my school, I have the 4 classes every week for every student. Why we do that? Because I said that we now combine the music, fine art, and dance to be integrated art education. So we use the drama to lead all the art disciplines. So that's why we have the 4 drama classes every week. And for the levels, in the past we have the first year, second year to be the first level, third and fourth year to be the second level, and the fifth and sixth year to be the third level. But now we change to be 6 levels. So we have 6 years in the primary school. Every year will be 1 level. And as I said before, we have a dedicated drama teacher. This is the scene from our daily class. And based on my teaching experience, So in the first level, we have the basic skills development, which is about the sound, the movement, and the visual. And the second level is interdisciplinary teaching, which we connect drama class with language teaching, mathematics, science, sports, or disciplines. And then it's about the third level is about the dramatic arts, which we normally call learn about drama. So we have the process drama, we have devising theater, also then the fourth level is about psychological development, which we say learn about self through drama. Actually, in the primary schools, I have seen many psychological problems, which are from the children's families, from the schools, from the outside societies. Some may be about because of the violence from the parents, or the ignorance from the parents, or the conflicts with the other children in the school, or the relationship with between children and the teacher. Many factors cause the psychological problems of the children. So that's why I think drama classes can be very helpful in this level. And the fifth level is about the social development. For example, in a few days, the new semester will start. The children that will come, some children will come from the kindergarten to the primary school. They will come to a new place. They will meet the other children and the teachers who they have never known, but they have to adapt to the new place. How they can do that? Well, they have some problems, difficulties. So everyone, we are connecting with other people in the society. So this is very important for the children in school to know how to deal with or communicate with other people. And also in this part we have this is a globe here, so we also put the international understanding, in which the children will think and discuss about some international affairs, some international topics. So this is very important part. This you can see it's a developing level by level. So I will show you one video from our basic compulsory classes. In the elective courses, is for the children who are interested in the theatrical or artistic dramatic arts. So the differences is for the different ages. And for the basic classes, it's for one class, which means they are of the same age. But for the elective courses, normally they are from different year, so they are of different age. But this will be very helpful because the elder children, normally they will show very nice behavior in front of the younger children. And the younger children will learn and follow the bigger children. So this will be very helpful for them to stay together. And actually, this is from my experience, I can see the result can be very satisfying. And the elective courses basically is about the performing arts. One thing to emphasize is, in these courses, we never teach children how to act because we still don't want them to be fake. So here, the main method we use is when children grow up, their creativity and improvisation ability are getting worse. Why? I don't think it's a problem of the children. It's not that they are getting more stupid. No. It must be the problem from our education and our teachers, how we educate them, how we teach them. So this is something we need to think about it. And for the elective courses, it's a one class every week. I will show a video from our elective course. from the video. The video was made by Professor Papadourakis at the United Uni. It is about the pandemic. Miao has been the ambassador of United Uni to represent the children from all over the world against the war, against the disease. So they made the video to let the Miyokis talk to the children from all over the world, to tell them what they should do in the pandemic, how they protect themselves, and how they should protect their family. And they sent the video to me, asked me to translate it into Chinese. So let's see the video.
Γεια σας! Είμαι η 11χρονη Μύρτης. Έζησα στο χρυσό αιώνα του Περικλή. Κύλησαν όμορφα τα παιδικά μου χρόνια, μέχρι που άρχισα τη ζωή μου στον λοιμό, τη μεγάλη επιδημία της αρχαίας Αθήνας. Το 2010 ξεκίνησα το νέο μου ταξίδι, όταν ο Μανώλης Παπαγρηγοράκης και οι συνεργάτες του ανάπλασαν το πρόσωπό μου. Σήμερα συνεργάζομαι με τα Ηνωμένα Έθνη και ταξιδεύω σε όλο τον κόσμο για να στείλω ένα χειρό μήνυμα ενάντια στους πολέμους και τη φτώχεια. Αυτές τις μέρες νιώθω τον κίνδυνο που βιώνει όλος ο πλανήτης από μια απειλητική αλλά όχι ανίκτη πανδημία. Θέλω να σας πω ότι το πολυτιμότερο δώρο είναι η ζωή και η υγεία όλων μας. Γι' αυτό ακούμε τους ειδικούς και τηρούμε τους κανόνες υγιεινής. Προσέχουμε ιδιαίτερα τα αγαπημένα μας πρόσωπα για να τα έχουμε αύριο δίπλα μας. Όπως είπε και ο Αντώνιο Κουτέρες, ο Γενικός Γραμματέας των Ηνωμένων Εθνών, όλη η ανθρώπινη οικογένεια ενωμένη θα νικήσει τον κοινό εχθρό. Με αλληλεγγύη στον συνάνθρωπο για να είμαστε όλοι μαζί στο όμορφο ταξίδι της ζωής.
My better understanding on the, the culture which was very far away from them. And then it's ancient Olympics. Because it's a very important topic that in the COVID-19, the pandemic period, should we still have Olympic Games? And how? There are many difficulties. But of course now today we know the Tokyo Olympic Games has successfully organized. But there have been many discussions on how should we have audience or not, and how can we protect the athletes when they have the competitions. So we brought this part into our course, and then the children can discuss, give their ideas, be very creative. So that is also the main goal of the course. And in the end of the course, we have a devising theater, in which they create their own small production of theater, which is also titled Miao. So these are some photos from classes. And after we have a class, I got an interview from the newspaper in Greece, which is Marini. They wrote about our class, and actually with my students, when they saw themselves on the newspaper in Greece, they got very excited. And I also, for group people, they read the story, they read the news, they know the Chinese children, they are studying milkies, and they are using milkies in the drama class. They are making ancient group costumes, they are learning their culture. So this is kind of a very good example of cultural exchange. And because previously I have been working on cultural group and Chinese cultural exchange for many years, from 2013. And I have accomplished many cultural exchange projects. So I can bring my past experience into my drama classes. And also children will, in this way, the children will feel they are very close to Greece. So after the media reports, then the Chinese embassy in Greece and the Greek embassy in China, the city of Chengdu, and also some other media in the city, they also reported and also give their support to our German classes. And this make it more serious, like a cultural exchange project. So this is in the end the theatrical performance, and these are the children from for the performance, and this is a scene from the performance. And I also used the element from ancient group theater chorus in this production. So it's enough to be very Greek, but also the reason is because I also invited the ambassador of Greece to our school, and before he came, I was thinking what we can show to him, especially in this pandemic period, what we can show to him about our Chinese children. So I put this performance on stage. It was actually the settings are very simple, but the children, they were really in the emotion, and they were really in the story, and they were wearing the costumes made by themselves. They became a chorus, and they gave the power to the audiences. So after performance, the ambassador gave very high feedback, and in this way, the children feel they are getting closer to Greece, because now they met the ambassador in person. So this helps them to have the better understanding of what they learned in the drama classes. So let's watch the performance by them.
我叫米尔蒂斯，我来自2000多年前的雅典，我死于那场雅典大。现在我只能一个人游荡在雅典城，而我们现在也是经历了新冠疫情，一切都会好的。
我将尊重病人的自主权和尊严，我要保持对人类生命的最大尊重。
我们对生命尊重是无国界的，每一个儿童的生命都值得我们呵护和珍重。这是我们的星球，我把全人类的爱都送给你。阿嘎巴美林索伊马斯，阿嘎巴美林索伊马斯。
Okay, then it's a specialized course. The children become a theater group, and we make a production which is inspired by one of the most famous poet in Chinese history. His name is Du Fu. Du Fu came to Chengdu and stayed here for some years, and then he built a small house by the very small lake. And then now this become a very famous sightseeing place in the city. And he wrote many poems when he was living here. And actually the 4 years he lived in Chengdu became the best period in his whole life. So in this production, we first tend to learn more and deep about Du Fu, the poet, and then we use dramatic exercises to gradually build up the roles, the movements, dances. Also, the whole play I wrote based on the 5 poems of the poet. So also we compose the music for the poems. The children they also learn to sing the poems. Actually, in the theater group, the children their age are very young. Most of the children are of 7 or 8 years old. So it was a bit difficult for them to remember the poems and also to sing the poems. But it's kind of a very high goal, but in the end they reach it. And so I believe they improved really a lot, and they learned a lot, and it changed them very significantly. So I brought them to the museum of Du Fu, and there they come to the museum. It's kind of a garden, so they walk around in the garden. They sing, they read, they sing the poems of the poet, and then they sit in front of the house of the poet, and
好。
黄鹂鸣翠柳，一行白鹭上青天。窗含西岭千秋雪，奔波东吴万里船。
站过来，站照一下。
但见青鸥日日来，花径不曾缘客草。蓬门今始为君开，寒孙事远无兼味。樽酒家贫只就醅，肯与邻宫相对饮，何离乎取尽余杯。三顾平凡天下计，两朝开济老臣心。出师未捷身先死，长使英雄泪满襟。三顾平凡天下计，两朝开济老臣心。出师未捷身先死，长使英雄泪满襟。
And also, I use many exercises from my drama class for this theatrical production. For example, normally I will teach them to walk, how to walk. It's very simple. So everyone walking in the classroom, they cannot really touch everyone. They need to be quiet. They need to walk very smoothly, relaxed. And then I use this on stage. And when I choose one of the poem, and they use that a little like rap, not of course not rap, but a little to become very strong and modern style and walking. It makes it very powerful. This video is on the stage, and when I perform inside the museum, that was the best moment, and I can feel the power really conquer all the audiences. Let's see the video.
三顾平凡天下计，两朝开济老臣心。出师未捷身先死，长使英雄泪满襟。三顾平凡天下计，两朝开济老臣心。出师未捷身先死，长使英雄泪满襟。
And also in my drama teaching in the primary school, and sometimes I also walk into the community, not only bring the students to the community, and also I would like to bring the drama course
大家也帮他一起想一想，建筑工人可以怎么样来帮助这些动物？
建学水体是让其他帮这些动物的人掉到海里，由那些人在帮动物用塑料袋。
你们觉得清洁工可以怎么样帮助动物？哦，清理掉垃圾。你们记不记得我们刚刚大人动物里面有一只是蝙蝠，被抓在笼子里边，马上就要被厨师做成菜送到餐桌上去的蝙蝠？你们蝙蝠能吃吗？不能吃。那为什么厨师要去把蝙蝠做成菜呢？不是说不能吃吗？
吃野味儿，
想吃野味儿。那你觉得厨师如果不做这个野味儿，是不是就好了？对，所以我觉得厨师要做的就是拒绝去做这种野味儿啊，蝙蝠不能够随便吃。
我们之前就是有一个人吃了蝙蝠得到新冠病毒是感染。
啊，所以科学家可以做很多研究，对不对？然后来保护。那比如说这次日本要排放那个核污染到大海里面，那科学家是不是可以想想办法，是不是可以不排，然后把这些核污染给消灭掉呢？但是现在日本的科学家告诉我们，他们没有办法。那我们中国的科学家是不是可以想想办法？对吧？好，我们现在我们所有小朋友，你们也以一个镜像，就是一个定格的动作，去用你们的身份去帮助我们的动物，好不好？你一个人选一种动物啊，一个人只选一种动物，然后要跟你的身份相符合，比如科学家就科学家，清洁工就是清洁工，护林人就护林人，好不好？啊，老师就是老师，厨师就是厨师，你们自己去选一个动物，然后自己想你是自己可以怎么样帮助这个动物，然后也是同样的用镜像的方式来表现啊。所以很多时候，当我们做这种镜像练习的时候，小朋友是会完全安静下来的。3、2、1之后，我们的小朋友开始动，然后去帮助小动物，而我们的动物要相应的去进行回应，要回应我们的科学家。我们看小鸟怎么办？要把小鸟吃掉吗？那你怎么帮助小鸟？
哦，对，
那动物们呢？
把建筑给炸了。我有减少噪音，让它退回上。
Okay, so I have introduced the main situation of drama education in the primary schools in China. And now the biggest problem in the drama education in China is the lack of teachers, drama teachers. So the training for the drama teachers is becoming very important. And I have seen the higher and higher demand for the drama teachers from many schools. I believe there will be more and more such demand in future. So I have started the training for drama teachers. So you can see it's not only for the art teachers, but for the teachers of all disciplines. So we have the exercises of drama, and also I choose a poem from China, Chinese history, and to have a real class. It's not something to show to the teachers, but I treat them as my students, and I give a real class for them, so they can have the real feeling and sense of how or what a drama class was like. And also I brought the students to be on stage, but it's not for performance, it's for a public class. So on the class, I started from the recently